Hello and welcome to the program Salone Star Parade, right on the station SLBC, but I'm right here in Washington, D.C., inside the studio of Voice of America. And of course, I'm here with the great star. And of course, right behind me, you can see the Music Time in Africa. And of course, I'm using the studio of the great presenter of that program, Heather Maxwell. First of all, I want to say welcome to the show.
Thank
Heather.
you.
And it's a pleasure for allowing me to use your studio to do this interview.
My pleasure.
In other words, it's like I'm using your parlor to talk to you.
I know.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, actually, I like this seat. This is easy. You're in the hot seat now.
I'm in the hot seat. So we're going to do something right now, And I'm here right now as a host doing this program, interviewing you, because you've done a lot in terms of promoting African music. Way back in Africa, people listen to you, and people love your program as well. Heather Maxwell. Who is Heather Maxwell?
Heather Maxwell is a girl who was born and raised in Michigan on a farm.
Okay.
And has been always somebody connected to music. Okay. In the beginning with a family gospel band, and then a rock and roll band with her brothers, and then a classical singer and jazz singer, and over the years also African-inspired singer.
Okay, what gave you the passion to come into music?
I was born into it. My family. My mother played piano. I mean, she always used to play piano, and she taught piano lessons, and she would gather us together for church.
Okay.
And really, I learned to sing Baptist hymns in church, and then we started to form our own group, and we had a family band called the Maxwell Family Band. Okay. And we performed in churches all the time. And we did talent shows back before they were televised like they are today. Back then, you actually went to a place and you auditioned, and there was an audience. There was nothing else. There were no cameras. And you went like from county to city to state. And so we did a lot of that kind of competitive performing as a family band.
Yeah, you started singing at the age of 7.
About the
age of 7. Yeah. And how was it like as a young kid moving around with a band across the United States of America?
It was fun. It seemed natural to me. I never understood why people thought it was anything unusual because, whatever you do in your family seems to be the natural way of things in general. So for me, it was just fun. It was part of life.
And also you enter certain competitions, and then you won a scholarship to do music.
Yeah.
How was it like?
That was great. Because one of the things that I wanted to do with my life, even at a young age, was see the world.
Wow.
We used to sit around at the table when I was a kid with my parents and my grandparents. We all lived together. It was like an African extended family in a way in the U.S., And my grandmother, who was the head of the household, she was the matriarch, she would always say, almost every night at the dinner table, she's from the South, so she talked like this. She'd say, Heather, what would you like to be when you grow up? And I'd say, I don't know. And she said, well, you could be the president of the United States if you want to.
Wow.
So we always had that discussion at the dinner table about what could you be, and where would you want to live in the world? And so we were allowed to really dream and encouraged to dream. So I wanted to travel. Okay. And when I got the scholarship to study voice, it was exciting for that reason more than anything else, because I was going to be able to get out of Flint, Michigan and start seeing the world.
Let's talk about Africa a little bit. You went to Ghana.
Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah.
And to study what?
I went to study music.
Music?
Yeah.
Music and dance?
Music and dance, because the University of Ghana has, I think, the oldest traditional music school. Traditional music. Okay. Kwame Nkrumah, he really believed in the African arts.
Okay.
And so they had a school where you learned to sing and dance and play instruments, and it was all kind of one. I would learn how to play the xylophone. Okay. I would play it for a half an hour with a big group of students, and then we would shift, and I would go and learn the dance that went to that xylophone piece. And the person dancing would then come and sit and learn the balafon part. Okay. And then I'd shift and play some sort of rhythm instrument. So that was great. I loved it. Absolutely loved that.
How difficult was it, you as a white student, mingle with the blacks as well? How was it?
Great. There was no difficulty at all. I felt safer in Ghana than I had in many neighborhoods that I lived in the United States. And that was during the time when Jerry Rawlins there was a coup d'etat, and it was dangerous politically, but I never really felt any danger whatsoever in my day-to-day life.
you play traditional music instruments as well.
Yeah.
Which one do you play?
Well, I play the kamelengoni, which is this instrument here.
Okay, let's just get off.
This guy.
Okay, a nice guy.
Nice guy. This was made for me a few years ago when I was in Mali.
Okay.
And I learned to play it, though, when I was living in a village as a Peace Corps volunteer in Mali many, many years ago. The great thing about music in African villages is that that's what people do at night. At least in Mali, that's what people did for fun. And actually, back then, when I was living in this village, it was called Ntosoni in Mali, there was no electricity. There was no faucets for water. You know, you had to get your water from the well. And so at night, pretty much everything shut down. And so people got creative. Okay. And I learned this instrument.
So how was it like, before you play anything, just how was it like for the first time when this instrument was placed in your hand? How was it like, playing it?
I felt a little awkward because I was one of the only women that play. Normally it's played by men.
Okay, yeah.
But that's one of the great things about being a foreigner is that you get certain exemptions from cultural norms that an insider wouldn't be able to do. It's not looked well upon for a woman to play this instrument. There are a few pioneers, but when you're a foreigner, you can break rules, and it's okay. So that was good. And I had heard people playing this a lot, so I kind of knew what it was supposed to sound like, and I kind of knew how to hold it and stuff like that.
Okay, you're holding this right now. You spoke about a song backstage. There was a song called Summertime.
Exactly.
What is that song?
Well, Summertime is an American classic. It's a very old American song that many, many, many blues and jazz singers sing when they first start out. I wanted to be able to sing some American songs like that to this instrument. So that's what this is. Summertime is the American song, and then I put it on this old Malian traditional rhythm that I was taught in Mali.
And I want to get a feel of it right now.
Okay, the Malian rhythm goes like this. That's the rhythm, and it usually just stays that way.
Okay.
Well, I changed it a little bit so that I can accompany myself to the blues.
Wow.
So I added this note, and I go back down here. And then when I want to go to the 5 chord, because blues is 1, 4, 5, I go.
Okay.
That's the 5. And here's 1 again.
So in other words, it's like a traveling from up, and down again. So let's get a song now. Let's get a song, Summertime song.
Okay. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.